All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. It's 11:03. So welcome to our webinar. This is GoDC Go's webinar on building a bike-friendly workplace, so encouraging and supporting bike commuting. My name is Jessica Lin, and I'm joined by my colleague Dorian Apiche. And we are here to give you some tips and hopefully teach you a thing or two about biking. So what's on the agenda today is going to be a little bit about GoDC Go, the state of biking in DC, some information about Capital Bike Share, which could be a valuable resource to you and your organization, Biking 101 / the value of biking, enhancing your biking benefits, incentivizing participation, bike events that you can most likely leverage, and Transportation All-Stars, that's a program that we have, and any upcoming webinars that might catch your interest. So starting off with who is GoDC Go, we are an initiative of the District Department of Transportation, and we are the leading resource for transportation information and options. We encourage the use of sustainable transportation, and we offer complimentary transit resources and consulting services to DC organizations and commuters. That means all of these services that we provide to you are free, so please keep us in mind. We won't run your wallet from the budget. And of course, our goal is to serve the area, decrease traffic congestion, improve air quality, and create a better quality of life in the DC area. So what's the state of biking like in DC? We are currently, as of 2023, the 5th bike-friendliest large city in the United States. We were 7th last year, and this year we're rated the 5th. So that's great improvement. 4.2% of residents bike to work currently. There are 145 in-street bike corrals, over 8,000 bike racks, and of course, you know that zero emissions coming out of biking because the average car commuter travels roughly 34 miles and emits roughly 22 pounds of CO2, and the average cyclist essentially emits 0 pounds of CO2. And that's a rough estimate because we know that some people are traveling not so far, sitting in traffic, but some others are traveling very, very far, coming into DC and emitting more carbon. No shaming, that's just the state of it. And 75% of car trips are under 1 mile in the city. 160 plus miles of bike lanes and trails. So we've got 24 miles of protected bike lanes, 79 miles of painted bike lanes, 100 miles of bike lanes achieved in spring of 2022, and that's in total. That number is still going up. DDOT has vowed to create more focus on bike lanes, so that number is increasing. And of course, if you didn't know, the average cost for a new bike is about $308, depending on the quality and the kind and the brand of bike. But the average cost of maintaining a new car is $10,000. So here's an infographic about those numbers and get a good view of all the different modes. And of course, Capital Bike Share. We have 2,600 classic bikes in DC, and that number 500 is actually a little outdated now. We've added 850 new e-bikes in DC, so it's over 1,000, and then 334 stations. So on the topic of Capital Bike Share, I'd like to tell you a little bit more about the context and what it is. Capital Bike Share is the 3rd largest bike share system in the United States. There's over 3 million, trips taken annually, 3 million. And it's the most affordable bike share system in the country. There's 700, over 50% are inside the district. And as I mentioned, 850 new e-bikes were launched last spring, not this one. So sharing the joy of Capital Bike Share. Capital Bike Share's corporate program is a program for employers that allows you to subsidize the cost of Capital Bike Share annual memberships for your employees. So typically, an individual could get a Capital Bike Share membership for $95 a year. And this is really convenient because if you don't want to buy a bike or you're not sure you're going to be able to maintain it or park it, you can always just grab a bike share take it from the rack, ride it to your destination, whether it's work or the gym or a restaurant, and then dock it, ride it home. It's low commitment and it's very convenient. However, if $95 is a lot for your employees, you can always check out the corporate program, which would put your cost at about $50 to $25 per employee. So easy enrollment, and I'll get into the costs a little bit later, but there's easy enrollment. You would just submit your organization's info, send your bills to Cabby when you set up your account. Cabby will provide you with the sign-up instructions and collateral to share with your employees. By the way, Cabby is a shortened name for Capital Bike Share, Cabby. And then they will also help you manage your account, so verifying that only eligible folks sign up under your account. So if they use that domain, or verifying that employee actually works in your organization. And of course, members can immediately ride by signing up using their Capital Bike Share app or using Lyft. And if they register with your organization, they just get a code. It's very simple. It's their membership, and they can ride it whenever they want for a year, 365, 24/7.
Hey, Jess, can I just add one thing? I just want to mention that Cabby only sends you bills. They send a bill every month, and only for people that register each month. So if nobody registers, you don't get a bill, and you only have to pay for those that register, and it's on a monthly basis.
Correct.
Thanks.
I will mention also that you will need about at least 10 employees to be eligible for this program. And if you want more information, you can always check out capitalbikeshare.com. So here's what the pricing looks like. So it's unlimited 45-minute rides, which is just the same as an individual's Cabby membership. And it would be 5 cents per minute after those 45 minutes. So any overages would be 5 cents per minute. Now for e-bikes, that would be 10 cents a minute. Normally with a regular membership, people are paying 15 cents a minute. With the corporate pricing, you're actually getting a 5 cent a minute discount. So e-bikes are 10 cents a minute. You will also get 2 free WABA classes. WABA is the Washington Area Bicycle Association, and they will offer 2 free classes, city riding and intro to bike trails. So this might be a good way to ease your employees into riding in the city, help them learn about the rules of the road and how to get around. And basically, this is how the subsidy breaks down. You can apply for a full subsidy or a partial subsidy. In the full subsidy, the organization would cover all $50 of the corporate membership, and the employee would pay $0. And with the partial subsidy, the organization would cover $25 and the employee pays $25. And they both round out to the same discount from Cabby's point of view, it'd be a 47% discount as opposed to the $95, you would just be paying $50. Okay, biking 101. So why is this so important? Why are we talking? And what are some strategies to increase bike commuting? So the benefits of biking are that from the employer side, you get healthier employees, which improves morale. We like when people come to work with a lot of dopamine in their system. They've gotten the sunshine and exercise. So bringing positivity into the office is always a great thing. Employee retention, when employees are able to bike to work, they have benefits for biking, or they're able to enjoy their commute, they're more likely to stay. It's good for the environment, so you're decreasing your carbon footprint. And of course, it supports your sustainability. So if you have goals to meet, biking benefits are definitely one way to meet that. And also, it improves productivity for the employee, which is also great for the employer. On the employee side, it's a low impact and low strain form of exercise. So it's a good muscle workout. It's much easier on the knees than running would be. It's easy to get into, contrary to what some might say. Once you learn biking, you kind of never forget it. So if someone's there to help you ease into it or teach you how to do it, you can get into it. And it improves your strength and stamina. So for those who are looking for a way to get fit or exercise, this is a great way to fit your workout into your day. By commuting while exercising, you can get to work and be healthy, all in one. Kill two birds with one stone. It can be time efficient depending on where you're commuting from. You're riding in the bike lane, you're not sitting in traffic, your car's not idling. It can be faster than a bus, depending on the route. So it's always good for the employee to look into their route for biking. There's fewer carbon emissions, as mentioned before, essentially 0 pounds of carbon emissions compared to vehicles. And of course, fresh air and sunshine. When you're out there, you're getting vitamin D, dopamines. It improves your mood and it improves your productivity. And both the employer and the employee want to improve productivity, I'm sure. There's strong evidence and data to prove that cycling can help our planet. So the Adventure Cycling Association, states that adopting this habit could save between 700 million and 1.6 billion gallons of fuel yearly. Plus, biking everywhere reduces the carbon emissions of your automobile might otherwise release into the atmosphere. So it's a lot of fuel, a lot of money going into gasoline that could be saved. So how can you enhance your bike benefits? Go DC Go is a great resource to help you enhance your bike benefits. Some of you may have worked with us before, or you're currently in contact with us. We are always available to help out, and we are happy to support your organization's interest in bike benefits. So for example, we've recently redeveloped this bicycle benefit flyer. You are welcome to go to our website, use it for your own needs. So this bicycle benefit is essentially letting employees know that if you create a bike incentive, or it's for employers. So if you are looking to encourage your employees to get into bicycling, they can actually collect receipts and reimburse for the purchase of a bike, or a bike lock, or a helmet, tune-up and repair costs, or fees for secure parking and shelter. So those are some examples of a bicycle benefit. Anything related to their commute, they can have reimbursed. And this is actually, I believe it is not pre-tax for the employers. Is that right, Dory?
I believe so, Jess.
Yeah. Great. So it is a tax reduction for the employers. If you're interested in offering this bicycle benefit, please contact us to learn more about it. It is, I think, available through 2025. The law isn't going to change on this until 2025, but it is a tax reduction. So bike storage is also another bike benefit that you can offer to your employees. You can offer outdoor bike racks, indoor secure storage, indoor small spaces, and a bike fix-it station. So we've got some photos here to get you inspired on what those different bike storage spaces look like. So for the top right, we've got a indoor storage. It looks like someone has converted a unused office into a bike storage. So if you've got a space like that, that could be convenient. And of course, a fix-it station is always helpful for those who are biking. They might need to maintain their bikes once in a while. And if you'll look at the bottom, those U-shaped racks, you can actually, I believe you can contact the city government and they will install those U-shaped racks outside your office for free. The number is 311. So some additional amenities, changing room would be helpful, bike pumps, showers, lockers, towel service, blow dryers, a water bottle filling station. You can even keep a loaner bike on hand in case of emergencies. Do you have a gym on site? That could be something to consider. Partner with a local gym. If you can't get a shower installed in your own office, you can always rent out a space or form partnership with a local gym so your employees have access. And of course, guaranteed ride home is an additional amenity. So GRH, or Guaranteed Ride Home, is through Commuter Connections. And what Guaranteed Ride Home does is essentially it offers your employees up to 6 times a year a free ride home up to 10 p.m. So if there's any emergencies or family situations or any extenuating circumstances, perhaps it's even raining, like you bike to work and now it's raining, you don't want to bike home. If you are subscribed to Guaranteed Ride Home, maybe not subscribe, but if you have registered with Guaranteed Ride Home, they will be able to get you home for free up to 6 times a year. So all you would need to do if you're interested is show your employees the website, Commuter Connections, Guaranteed Ride Home has a page, and you just have to verify for your employees. They just have to verify that they are taking a sustainable mode of commuting times a week. So whether that's biking or transit, maybe they bike on Monday, but they take transit on Tuesday. That's all they need to register for Guaranteed Ride Home. So definitely take advantage of these or these suggestions. If they apply to you in your office space, we highly encourage you to consider implementing them. Also, promoting safety is very important. So you can host a bike safety class, host a bike maintenance class. And as we mentioned earlier, WABA also does bike safety classes. You can gift a certificate to WABA bike safety class. You can have someone attend for free. You can also bring in bike mechanics to check employees' bikes for issues, bike maintenance. And by the way, WABA's website is right there. So they do lots of fun stuff. There's also some community events and clubs in the area. You know, if people need support or motivation, morale, there's bike clubs in the area that you can promote, that people ride together and not just by themselves. And I will pass it off to Dory to talk more about the social aspect of that and incentivizing participation.
Thanks, Jess. So now you're offering all these wonderful amenities and things and benefits to your employees. Now you have to get them to use it. So let's talk a little bit about how things you can do to ensure that they take advantage of all these wonderful things that you're offering them. Suggest or create a bike buddy program. This program is a program where experienced bike commuters volunteer to support new bike commuters and guide them through the process of biking and sharing all of their knowledge of what they've learned about commuting, and maybe even doing a test run with them, determining the best or safest route, how to ride safely in traffic. Choosing their gear for the different times of year could be a huge issue if they're not familiar with it or don't think ahead of time about some of the things that they might experience in biking. Maybe taking bikes on the bus, changing a tire, and other tips and techniques. And I just want to mention that we will be doing a Bike Buddy webinar with some guest speakers who are actually bike buddies, and the value they think it brings to their other employees and their colleagues, and the types of things that they share, and what some of the things that in talking to them, some of the things that people forget to communicate with new bike commuters. So it should be a really interesting webinar. So keep looking at our newsletters to find out when that's coming up. It should be in spring. Create a bike club or host a bike club, right? If you have multiple bikers, bike commuters, you incentivize them to put together a bike club, even if they meet once every 6 months or once a quarter. It could be a bike walk club for those people that do that. And it's a great way to start to build your biking community at the office and get them to share information. And usually the people that do bike to work know who the other bikers are. So, maybe create a t-shirt for those that bike to work or walk to work. It would be a great way to create some team spirit. So encourage some club meetings. And if they participate in organized rides, they can wear your company t-shirt, and it again creates team spirit, might entice some other people to join the rides and potentially think about commuting via bike or walking if it's a walk event. And maybe recognizing active members or those people that maybe do go above and beyond to get people to participate or coordinate. and incentivize participation any way you can. Could be anything from, you know, supplying coffee and bagels for their meetings, or you know, you could think of great little ways to do that, and maybe talk to them about some of the things that would they would like to see in their bike club or have available to them. Incentivize employees, as just mentioned, you know, bike walk subsidies are fabulous way to get people to consider using those modes, because you know, you can get all kinds of subsidies to commute in other ways using Metro and such, but the bike and walk subsidies, either they don't get, or if they do, they're not equivalent to other modes of transportation. And maintaining a bike, though less than maintaining a car, can still be pricey if you really use it all the time. And even walking, you know, there's shoes, there's the right, like I said, the like clothing to wear in the right types of weather. And so just giving them a bit of a subsidy to be able to make those trips more enticing. You can offer a company rebate for the purchase of a bike or an e-bike. That goes a long way in getting people to, especially e-bikes these days. There are more people that would be consider biking to work. You know, they might be not as close to work to use a regular bike, but somebody getting an e-bike helps them over that, you know, little extra mileage to get them to the office, and they could be quite expensive. So offering a rebate really helps, and the district will be offering rebates for e-bikes. That's coming about as we speak. You'll be hearing about it. It's starting to be marketed, and there was a low income bike promotion for those people that were low income. They could get a $400 credit towards a regular bike. And I think they're gonna do that promotion again. So promote biking to and from meetings and errands for perks and prizes. You know, there's a lot of in and around, you know, Uber rides or driving their car to during the day that we don't consider. So trying to incentivize people to try that as an option, as opposed to taking an Uber or driving their car. Recognize special achievements, like people that ride every day or go the longest distance or shortest distance. Somebody that, you know, is always wearing a helmet. Safety is really important. You could do things like decorate your bike day. Most consistent commuter rides in the world, worst weather, or rookie commuter. And these are things like, you don't have to have a big event to even do these recognitions. You know, I'm sure you have team meetings or office meetings, or, you know, or a picnic, office picnic is a great time to recognize those people that are doing this type of commuting, and showing that they're not using the car. It adds a lot of value. So this is something that a lot of companies don't consider, but it's something that we've been working with companies on, to have a bike loaner program. And more hotels and some companies are starting to do it. And so to have some bikes on hand for your employees to run errands or go to meetings, especially if they have to carry things. You could have standard bikes, cargo bikes, or even e-bikes available for them for that in and around travel. It saves a lot of time. It's a lot quicker and easier to use a bike than to try to get an Uber or drive your car. We have a sample loaner agreement you can use that I think it was used by Google, but we have a sample loaner agreement that you can create this way. They sign out the bike and then sign it back in. So it's a little laborious, but we can work with you on creating these kinds of programs if you're interested, in making it as simple and as streamlined as possible so it isn't overwhelming. But most importantly, provide bike locks for each bike so, you know, they don't get stolen, and have lend a bike helmet program as well. You don't want anybody taking out a bike and not wearing a helmet. So you have to have those available. And so some of the hotels and businesses that are offering these programs currently are Capitol Hill Hotel. The St. Regis has been doing it for a very long time. Kimpton Hotel, Fairmont Hotel, and Google. A lot of the hotels offer it to their guests as well as their employees. And it's really been a fabulous program to implement, and it's been, they get used a lot. So cargo bikes for business is something else that companies are starting to look at. You know, depending what industry you're in, if you have to cart things, or if you have a employee that has to bring things to and from different locations, you know, of course, there's things like delivery services, but there's lots of businesses that have, you know, cars or trucks. For example, DDOT has lots of trucks. I'm sure you've all seen them around the city. They have an extensive cargo bike program now with all kinds of cargo bikes. The one that's at the bottom of the page is a small one for obviously carting small things, but you'd be amazed at the range of cargo bikes that are available to accommodate almost all sorts of transportation needs for people that need to cart things around, even you know, for cleaning people and things like that. And of course, those are the larger ones are all e-bikes because, you know, of the weight involved. But it really is a great thing to consider depending on what kind of business you're in, or what your employees do during the day, even helping them do their personal shopping, to be able to run out on lunch and have a cargo bike to go do some things, that pick up things that they need to do, saves them time. It's a low maintenance cost. There's no fuel cost, much faster for delivery. So if you have any kind of delivery program or system within your company, they're great options. They can maneuver around the streets easier, especially during peak hours when you're sitting in that bumper to bumper traffic. That doesn't happen with the cargo bikes. You don't have to look for a parking spot. That means there's no tickets involved, which is also a wonderful thing. It's obviously a healthier option, even with the batteries or the e-bikes. It's still a healthier option. It's much better for the environment, and it showcases that you're a business that values the environment, and it's great PR for you.
Yeah, Tori, I want to add that DDOT now has those cargo bikes. I'm sure some of you have seen them at open streets when they're setting up a big wagon behind them. And of course, all things that we pile in there do get kind of heavy. Like you said, they end up being e-bikes. But it's very, very convenient because they can just go up and down the street dropping off each station's things. So, you know, no more of the car stopping, blocking traffic. You know, the e-bike can zip right on by. It's very convenient. Just make sure whoever's riding it does have a helmet.
Yes, and actually, great point, Jess. That reminds me, for all of you that are interested in seeing some of those in action, we have an open streets coming up. I think it's the 7th of October on Georgia Avenue. So it's a great event to attend. Plus, you'll get to see our cargo bikes in action and how well and easy they are to use and what a difference they make. So now we're going to go on to some biking events. We have, you know, every year there are all kinds of holidays and biking events that go on in the city. We are a great biking city, as Jess mentioned in the beginning, and coming up soon is WABA's annual cider ride. That's the next biking event that I know of on the calendar. It's Saturday, November 4th. I've participated in it myself a number of years, and I love it. It's one of my favorites. And then during the course of the year, we have, like it says, Earth Day, National Bike Month, Bike to Work Day, and World Bike Day. So you can consider doing your own event during the course of these holidays. And we encourage you to do them, whether you do it on the day or leading up to the day. remember that Go DC Go is here to support them. And we want to know, one, that you're doing these events. So please share it with us. And then the other is you're always welcome to invite us to come and help you promote all your community benefits, and specifically the things that you would be celebrating on these days. And we would bring swag and materials. Host your own events. You can have a quarterly achievement day with refreshments. These are just some ideas of things that you can do. You can host a bike to work day with an Energizer station, host a family biking event, or include it in your company picnic, or any kind of holiday or company party that you do, or company meeting that you do. Perhaps you're doing, and you do your annual meeting, and, recognize some of those people that actually come to the meeting via bike or walk. You can also do at your picnics, like a bike rodeo, a bike fashion show, a helmet decorating contest, create challenges, and use this as a resource. If you're doing an event and you want to brainstorm some ideas, set up a meeting with us. Jess and I are always here to kind of talk about how you can really get the most out of what you're trying to achieve. And, you don't have to do it all on your own. We're here to help, and we're here to participate if you need us. Some additional events that you can do is you can host a photo contest. So this is a real easy one to do, because you can do it at any time during the year, and you can do it regularly. And it's a great way to gather pictures of your employees and add to your newsletters, and to show the kind of fun, interesting, and employee-friendly business you are with people that are looking to potentially join your place of work. So you can have employees send pictures of themselves either on their bikes, and of course, you always have to have little prizes to give away for these types of things. And they don't have to be huge prizes either. Just tiny things like, even a free Starbucks coffee card can go a long way in recognizing an employee and getting people to participate. Or it could just be, employee of the day, and they, whatever, get their desk decorated, or, lunches on the office for them. There's lots of little things you can do. So have them send in pictures like biking with their family or friends, or some of these are my favorite, like biking somewhere unusual, and people have to guess where it is. That's always a fun one, and it gets other people involved who might not be bikers, and maybe intrigue them a little bit about exploring the biking option. Taking a photo in front of holiday decorations during the course of the year, or in front of something historical, or their favorite historical site in DC. And there's so many, and of course, there are all the usual ones, excuse me, but you'd be surprised of how many off the beaten path historical sites we have. Like, how many of you know that we actually have a monument to the Titanic in DC? So lots of interesting things. You can even do, things showcased in a movie. Or in front of their favorite food truck. Anyway, don't forget, to invite Go DC Go if you're doing any of these things. And as you can see, we participate in many events. And it doesn't just have to be biking events. If you're doing a benefits fair, open enrollment is a great opportunity to remind people of all of their benefits, their commuter benefits, and maybe, adjust their pre-tax dollars or any of those things. So we attend a lot of benefits fairs, or we just got asked to show up, at a high traffic day in the morning or at lunchtime, and set up a table to talk to people about how they commute during benefits time, because that's already in your employee's head about their benefits and how they're spending their money. So it's a great time to start doing those types of things. Or we can do a lunch and learn. We can, if you sign up for Capital Bike Share, we do Capital Bike Share 101s, and you would be surprised how many people learn things from our 101 classes, even though they've been Capital Bike Share members for years. We just did one for a transit company, and a lot of them were already Capital Bike Share members, and they were shocked that they've learned a few things about the program. Anyway, we do all kinds of tabling events, like I said, for any of the holidays, or just because you want us there to talk to your people about how they commute. So feel free to give us a call or invite us. So, and we would like you all to consider becoming a transportation all-star. You're already doing a lot of commuter benefits and supporting your employees in many different ways. So why don't you get the recognition you deserve for the things that you're implementing, and then maybe see some of the things that you could consider implementing that might be valuable. And in addition, are the things that you're offering or have been offering, especially pre-COVID, are they still working for you now? Do they still support your employees to the best of, in the best possible way with the dollars that you're using to implement them and create them? Do they support your employees the way they should support your employees? So if you become an all-star, we recognize there are 4 different categories: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. And we recognize DC organizations for their commitment to sustainable transportation. So to be the benefits of being an all-star is you would obviously be a steward of an environment. You reduce your company's carbon footprint, as we've mentioned many times. It helps with employee retention. You get an electronic badge to use in all your marketing materials to show that you're a transportation all-star. You could be featured depending on what level you're at. These are for different levels. So you could be featured in a success story. You probably have all received some of our success stories in the past, or mentions and retweets and follows in social media. We give out certificates or crystal awards depending on the level you're at. You can be recognized in our newsletter and on our website. If you become a platinum all-star, you would get a 1-year free best workplaces for commuter membership. You need to be approved by them first. So you'd fill out, if you became platinum, you'd fill out an application that we would send you and submit it. But generally, if you're a platinum member, you're already meeting their requirements, because the things that we have in our different levels would support their membership evaluation. And you would get recognized on our annual awards ceremony. In addition to that, I should mention, you could also win one of our annual awards, which are in addition to the platinum awards. We give awards out for employers, schools, and residential buildings that really exceed in different areas in sustainable transportation. It's really interesting. Our ceremony is a great event to go to, because not only do you see the different companies that are out there, but you learn about what they're doing and what you can consider doing. We've had feedback from employers that said, "Oh, I'm so glad I came. I got some really great ideas. I can't wait to go back and implement." And we had one employer write us and say, because of that, they did win an award, but because of it, they had an increase in their budget for what they were doing with sustainability and transportation. So, nope, that's it. Thanks. And so how to become an all-star? Well, it's as easy as scheduling a consultation with Jessica and myself, and let us know what you're offering your employees. Things like pre-tax benefits, transportation information resource displays, designating an employee transportation coordinator, having a Capital Bike Share membership, having things like bike rack, showers, or secure storage, van pool or carpool or program or shuttle service, telework, flex time, and compressed work schedules, having a guaranteed ride home program, either through Commuter Connections, or even some companies do their own or do their own in addition, right? If they run out of the rides and they really do have an emergency and they bike to work or they van pool, some companies supplement that guaranteed ride home to really help their employees feel secure in taking sustainable transportation, and creating subsidies that we talked about, like transit bike and walking subsidies. But most importantly, so these are all things you might be offering. Maybe you're offering one or two of them, maybe you're offering a lot of them, but a combination of things will help you get your designation. So once you meet with us and we learn the things that you're offering, we can help you get the most out of your commuter benefits. We can help you evaluate your program. If you want to do a commuter survey, we can help you do a survey. We can create one for you, or you can do your own, but we can help you with the questions. We, as I said, we can host events with you. But you utilize us. We have lots of resources. So the idea of the All-Star program is to recognize you for what you're doing and help you grow your program and see what other things you might do that you haven't considered that might be of value for your employees. So that kind of wraps it up. Here are some of our up and coming webinars. Next week on the 4th, we have Becoming a Best Workplaces for Commuters webinar. And I will say, if I didn't already say, if you are a Platinum All-Star, yes, I did, you get a year membership. So it'll be interesting. They'll be coming to talk about their program and the value of their program. And then we will be showcasing some of the employers that we work with that have received this membership, and what they did working with us to become Platinum All-Stars and get that Best Workplaces for Commuter membership. And then it's that time of year, folks, where the parking cash out is coming into play in January. It's the new reporting, January 15th. Those that have to report this year will have to report by January 15th. Not everybody has to report, but we will be discussing on October 11th the new reporting process, because there's a lot of new features in the reporting system to include things like doing the TDM plan and survey in the reporting process, in the reporting tool. And then we're going to have office hours that you can just pop in and ask a few questions. We will have questions, excuse me, after each webinar. We always do. But then we'll have an open office hours where, you know, if you have additional questions or you have a unique situation you want to talk about, you can come in and talk to us about that. And then compliance and reporting will be on October 25th. So we'll talk about, for any new companies or people that are not familiar with it, we'll go over the compliance options and the reporting process again. And
yeah, and to clarify, it's not a totally new reporting process. The reporting tool has new built-in features. So if you are required to comply this year, because not everyone is, you can take advantage of that webinar to learn about how to utilize the new features. But if you're not required to comply, or if you just have general questions, you can feel free to come to the October 25th one or hop into any of the office hours. There is not a new process entirely to comply. It's still the same law and the same options.
Right, just for new reporting features, it should really say.
Yeah. Great.
In the reporting tool. Thanks, Jess. So that is really it for us. Here is our information, and we'll open it up to questions that you might have.
Thanks, everyone.